I I'm gonna guess that if you talk to Chromeball or Mackenzie Eisenhower or any of those dudes sort of in my generation of writer, that they would shout out the toner column as
Oh,
one of their like favorite things and something that inspired them to write, because to me the toner column was the first thing I ever read that was um sort of abstract, sort of existential or philosophical about skateboarding, you know? It
right. Instead
emerged
of like,
life and skateboarding and daydreaming. And I don't know, I'm assuming the amount I've heard that, I'm assuming you've heard it. So
yeah,
like talk to me about toner, because that I feel like that was very unique and still is in skateboarding. Like maybe maybe I would compare Boil the Ocean a little bit to it. You know, it's Boil the Ocean's a little nerdier, but
um,
you know what I mean. Like that dude's obviously was also inspired by toner. You can tell.
that's cool to hear. I haven't really, no one's really, I mean, every once in a while, someone will tell me that they liked it, or while it was happening, they'd be like, I like that one. But I'm kind of blissfully unaware of
Hmm.
uh, its influence, but that's cool of you to say. When um, I went, so toner started um, on uh, my, I think, on my
Hmm.
return to TransWorld. So I left TransWorld in '91,
Hmm.
came back to Nebraska. Um, Cheryl and I got married. I finished my degree at the university, and as soon as I was done, I started bugging them again, like, "Hey,
That was an English degree.
yeah." And I started bugging Swift and Grant about um, if they needed help. That's when
Hmm.
transfer was like that thick, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so whatever it was, 400 pages, 450 pages at its fattest, that's like doing 4 magazines a month as far
I
as
know.
like filling pages. And I was like, you guys need help? And they did. And that was one of the things I was like, well, I mean, there's an intro, there's like a, what was it called? Gas bag. So they had an
Yeah,
intro sort
I
of
wrote a couple of
at the
those.
beginning of the, yeah, yeah, at the
I
beginning
don't
of,
think it. I don't think it was the letter from the editor, though. Was it,
um,
or was it because?
no,
Yeah,
that was like, always sort of had a guest
got
writer
it.
for it.
Yeah, so there was the editor letter, then there was gas bag.
So toner, um, became a way to fill 2 pages. I mean, no shit. That was like
With a
there.
photo and then the text, right?
So a way to run a photo, a good photo that didn't have a place in the magazine, other than like sightings,
Hmm.
and uh, and I was down to like get my inspiration from that photo, or
Hmm.
from whatever the issue was focused on, or whatever popped into my head, and it just became like a running column. But it was
Wow.
awesome. I love doing it, and um, I've talked to my brother Rob about this. Um, it sometime and back then you because you consumed magazines, you knew like, well, I read this stuff in these other magazines. Like I read Thrasher, and I read this guy's stuff. Or Jake had Angel Dust, kind of a
Hmm. Yeah.
editorial sort of poetry thing at the beginning. Like you started to recognize like, okay, I like reading this and that, and but I was kind of unaware of it. Uh, it was something to do. It was something to kind of flex my voice a little.
Hmm.
But I the it's a different timeline too. Like someone can't just like it or give you a comment on it back then.
Hmm.
So through the years, I would hear stuff, but it's cool to hear that it was that you dug it and read it, and
It
that
was
maybe it
was
carved.
my first exposure to something like I said, philosophical or sort of abstract, or it wasn't critical is not the word, it was just sort of whimsical.
I did have someone ask me like one time. I can't remember who this was. It may have just been an online comment, and
Hmm.
this might have been years later, but same style of thing, like asking me like, "Who are you talking to?" Like because I think the assumption was that I was talking to them and uh, trying to hand out advice or trying to lay down the law or trying to, you know, be suggestive, like, "Hey, here's what you should do."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I wasn't. It was mostly like notes to myself, like like little reminders, um, and being me being my own audience. So it was a little stream of consciousness and a little um, uh, therapeutic, even though we didn't know what that was at that point. But um, my main audience was like me and a few people I worked for or worked
Yeah.
with, um, and it just happened to come with the magazine that we all loved and stuff. So um, real lucky. Also, like a moment in time that's like happened to me once. I kind of forced my way back into it a second
Hmm.
time. As luck would have it, um, my friends wanted to start a magazine of their own in the early 2000s, 2004, and lightning struck for a third time.
Goodness. Thank you for putting me in the skateboard mag and giving me all that
Hell yeah! Thanks for
career.
being patient with me. I talked about being a grumpy 30-year-old adolescent,
Hmm.
uh, I, and kind of under some self applied pressure. Um, I was trying to figure it out, and I wasn't
Yeah.
always the coolest guy, but you were very patient with me, and
Well,
we're down to work as hard as we were. So I appreciate
yeah.
that.
Well, you gave me you were one of the people that kept my dream job going. So thank you for that. I'm glad you're okay,
Thanks,
and
Rob.
love you, and
Yeah,
enjoy
thanks for
dinner.
reaching out and thinking
Of
of me.
course.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries. I'll be in touch and we can
All
talk
right.
about if we want to talk more or not. All right.
Okay, let me know I'm down.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All
All
right.
right.
I love you,
Bye
Rob.
bye. Love you too. Bye.